Have you ever used SSH key? Yeah, I'm sure you have used while using Git or while accessing the network. But do you really know how SSH key works? So let's explain this with an easy example. But before going to the SSH key working, let's first see what is SSH. SSH stands for Secure Shell. And what it is? It is a cryptographic network protocol. But what does that mean? Protocol, think about protocol as rules of transferring encoded data over the network. That's why cryptographic network protocol. That's okay. But where this SSH used for? It is best used for accessing the remote servers. When you use this SSH key and you will get the command line interface of the server, it's just like you sitting in front of a server which is situated far apart you. So how this SSH key created? Actually, SSH uses a symmetric cipher. And what is cipher? Cipher is a algorithm for performing encryption and decryption. That means a function which perform encryption and decryption. That's okay, but why we need this SSH? Yeah, we have the username password to log into server, but why SSH key? Because username and password can be stolen in the middle. The symmetrical encryption cannot be done on the remote server. If you're not familiar with the symmetrical encryption, let's first understand this, because SSH key uses asymmetrical, so we must have the knowledge of asymmetrical and symmetrical. So symmetrical encryption is simply a one function which is shared between two people, and that function is single capable of encrypting and decrypting the data sent along. This means, suppose if I want to say ABC and that meaning is ZYX, then I send to you. This means you get the point. Okay, you just have to reverse the alphabetical order. So if I send you ZYX, you will probably know that the function, that the data actually is ABC. But to perform this action, you and me both have the same cipher, same algorithm, or the same function, which is simply reversing the alphabetical order. But here comes the great problem, because SSH key used for accessing the server, which is remotely placed far apart from you, and then problem comes with the symmetry, that how will you even share that function, share that cipher, because even that cipher can be stolen and can be used by someone else in between. So here comes the great solution for the symmetrical, the asymmetrical encryption. Asymmetrical encryption uses a pair of key, that means the public key and the private key. As the name suggests, private key is a private, we will not going to share with anyone, even not going to touch it. And the public key is accessible to anyone. We share this with anyone. We say, okay, get this public key, you have this public key, and if you want to contact with me, just encrypt your data with my public key, and then anything which is encrypted via your public key can only be decrypted by private key. Remember this, this is very important. And there are many encryption method, RSA, DSA, ED255, but in whole asymmetric encryption, one function is for encrypting the data and another for decrypting. So we share the public one as a encryptor and we keep the private one as the decryptor. So now comes how SSH key works. So you have a private key and you have a public key and you want to access the server. So how you will perform this action? So let's see. From your local computer, you want to access the server, but firstly you have to verify yourself. So what you do, you will pass all the public key you have on your system to the server. Okay, because public key can be shared with anyone, so there is no problem sharing the public key to server. Then on these public keys, server identify if server already has your public key registered. Then if it found, then server say, okay, now let's verify yourself. And after that, server creates a new key. It's a top secret, and now server encrypt that key with your public key. Remember, you have given the public key, and with that public key, server encrypt the top secret key and then pass over to you again. Then because you have the private key and you can unlock this, you unlock that data and you got that top secret and pass again over to server know that, yeah, this is the same thing I have sent to you via your public key encrypted form. And then server says, great, you are verified. And after that, the SSH system creates a tunnel between the local computer and the server, and we can easily pass our encrypted data along this tunnel. This is a system, but how this system can be used? So we have various SSH clients on our various type of machines, like on Mac OS or Linux, they have built-in terminal. For Windows users, you can use PuTTY, and Android use SSH, and iOS has the prompt in it. But every great thing has some problem, and SSH key has also, because it's a service, so it cannot be available until you start the system. So that's the great problem. But if you by mistake misconfigure or turn off any kind of access, then you can't log in back. One more problem is that if you forget or if you deleted by mistake the private key, what the purpose of sending the public key to anyone, because you cannot decrypt any data. So these are the things you have to keep in mind while using SSH key. But SSH key is a great help on passing data over the networks. And I think you have easily understand the SSH key and it's working. So if you have any doubt, feel free to message me, and don't forget to share this video to everyone so that everyone get what SSH key and how it performs the encryptions over the network. So don't forget to subscribe and like Bitfumes on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Bye bye.